Welcome back, Budget Gamer fans. Today I've got a review for you of a game called Hollow. Now when I was clicking through the eShop, I saw what looked to be a pretty decent budget game, but when I saw this trailer footage, I about was ready to get up and just throw my wallet at it. I mean, there's monsters and space and spaceships and running and shooting and stuff. And for a $5 game, I honestly couldn't believe it. I mean, other than Bulb Boy, I don't really have any horror games for the Switch yet. So something that seemed as similar as Dead Space, I thought was a dead ringer for something that should be in my collection. But after devoting 2 hours of my life to this game, I can tell you with perfect assurity that the cake is indeed a lie. The best thing about the game Hollow is definitely the trailer footage on the eShop. So if you wanted to play a good space horror game on the Switch, just hold your controller while you're watching the trailer footage. It's probably going to be way more fulfilling than actually playing the game. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't just a bad game. It's a game that's bad because it had so much potential and comes across like such garbage. And when you start getting deeper into the game, certain parts of the game don't even work right. You'll be hearing doors opening and closing that actually aren't opening and closing in the visual aesthetics. The game graphics and actual load times will start lagging out. The load times themselves last for about 45 seconds between screens, and the reset load times are absolutely ridiculous. Instead of automatically respawning at the previous save point, you actually get loaded back into the game's title screen and then have to select continue and then have to reload the game again completely new. Minus the actual programming issues with the game from the port over, the actual gameplay, physical characteristics of gameplay I mean, aren't really that bad. The character controls are fine if a little bit slow, and all the actions are pretty intuitively mapped to their own individual buttons. Though due to joystick placement, it is a little bit difficult to play on the actual Switch portable mode. The darkness of the overall game in general actually does add a lot to the creepy factor, but the problem is that your headlamp, whenever you use it, actually washes out everything completely, so there is really no light balance in the game. Now, while the player controls are somewhat intuitive, the actual combat system is absolutely terrible. Built to resemble a run-and-gun shoot-'em-up horror game like Dead Space or the Fear series, you would expect Hollow to actually have a decent shooting mechanic and a decent combat system. But the way it works in Hollow is as soon as an enemy attack animation starts, if they're within a certain range, you take damage regardless. And unless you're lined up perfectly where you need to be, your hits aren't gonna make it, whether they're kicks or shooting. I actually found the best way in the game to take down some of these enemies because of this issue was to kick them until they fell on the floor, and then walk up standing over them, shoot them in the head. And as the overly dark or overly washed out scenes make it really difficult to find ammunition or health, this tactic alone became a huge asset to make it anywhere in the game. Your run function is actually more of a walking speed in any typical game, and your walk is about that of a crawl. So there's really no chance to outrun enemies, you literally have to confront them one at a time or you're going to end up dead. While the soundtrack and ambient sounds in the game actually do a really good job at placing you into that what the heck is going on space horror theme, it doesn't take much time for the repetition of the very, very small portfolio of sounds to start wearing on you and actually pulling you out of that environment. Hollow could have been so much, and with the amount of time, energy, and money they put into the trailer for the game, I really expected to see some of that reflected in the actual game itself. If it was attempting to branch out and be something totally new, a lot of these flaws would be forgivable. But the problem is that the space horror game is so well defined as a genre that failing to meet those genre expectations in so many different ways makes the game intolerable to anyone who's actually a fan. And for that reason, as well as all the others, this game is definitely going on the avoid list. Well, that's about it for the review of Hollow. I'm sorry this was a short review, but I really didn't want to just sit here and rant for an hour and a half because I probably could. Anyway, if you'd seen this game and were thinking of investing in it, I hope that this was helpful. And if you enjoyed the review or at least found it somewhat entertaining, feel free to throw me a like and don't forget to subscribe for the latest content. I'm trying really hard to stick to a new Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule with the uploads, but if you want to get notified as soon as these things hit YouTube, feel free to click that little bell icon. Anyway, this has been Budget Gamer, and as always, thanks for watching.